So when I was 8 years old, that is when I had my no not actually 8 years old, sorry. Um I think when I was like 6 years old, that's when I got baptized. I was actually Catholic, right? Um that was like way before I became Muslim, you know. Well, back then my dad was Catholic and my mom was Catholic too. My dad is still Catholic, but I was baptized at the age of 6 years old. Not sure when, but I think I was 6 years old, along with my older brothers. Okay, and right 2 years later, when I was like 8 years old, that's when I had my, you know, Holy Communion. Actually, I do remember that day because I had a red eye. You know, when you have a red eye, I like woke up that day and my eye was swollen and it had that white foam stuff, you know. It was really bad and it was hurting me and it was burning me. And I told my mom that I didn't want to go because I looked bad, like, you know. And she saw me and she felt uncomfortable, like she really got worried, and we went to look for a the medicine for the eye. And yeah, I had like a few drops. She put like a few drops in my eye, like three. And then right after, like, I think 2 hours, it felt better, but it didn't go away. Like, of course it went away like after like 3 days, 4 days, but it was really, really, really bad. Like, I woke up and we had like we went to the cathedral. It's a cathedral, right? Like that church, like that has a long thingy, you know. It's a cathedral, right? Like, we went to cathedral and they gave me the little bread or something. Like, how do you call it again? Like the white bread, like the white round bread. That bread. I had it and we said some few words, and then later that day we went to a restaurant and we had a feast, me and my cousins, because I do remember as well that my cousins as well had their Holy Communion. And back then I didn't know what it meant to have like a Holy Communion. Like, I didn't know anything at all. But I knew that we learned about it, you know, but I was too like focused on just having a Holy Communion, because I feel like when you have a Holy Communion is like you've passed something great, you know. And for me it wasn't a big deal because it was like, it's just nothing, right? Like, I'm still young, so whatever. And we had a feast and we were all happy. My parents were happy and proud and stuff like that. And I carried on with that religion, but I never practiced it. Right? I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant. You know, I was just following, I guess, my parents and everyone else around me. And it's just kind of sad, you know, like, if you, like, when you grow up, you have to get accustomed to a certain religion that your parents teach you, you know what I mean? And unfortunately you have to figure out everything by yourself when you grow up, because I do feel like when we grow up and, you know, we face the society, eventually our mindset change, and, you know, we meet new people, and, you know, everything just changes. But when you are young, you're a toddler, you're a kid, you know nothing, right? You just know nothing. You follow your parents, and that's why it's very, very important to be a parent. You know, I feel like being a parent is such a huge test, because you have to raise your kids right, you know. You have to try your best to raise your kids right, because if you don't, then the society will, you know what I mean? And we all know that, you know, the way society shapes, you know, the youth, you know, is very, very messy. But anyhow, that was beside the point. So what I was saying was, I was just following my dad's culture, And then in Catholicism, like what I used to see, like in the cathedral, everyone, there was no like foundation either, you know, because everyone did what they wanted to do, whatever they wanted to do. If you're meant to drink, like I didn't even know that a priest, even he's allowed to drink. Like I didn't know that until they told me. I was like, wait, what? Priests drink? Like, like, and they were like, oh yeah, like, but they're just allowed to like only have like, I don't know, like 2 drinks and that's it. They have to drink responsibly. And I'm like, what do you mean drinking responsibly? Because I know when you drink alcohol or any type of beer, you always want more. You know what I mean? That's the thing about alcohol. Like the more you drink it, the more you want to drink more. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that, and I was like, I guess okay. You know, so I didn't know anything about that, and I was like, I guess like, you know, this type of religion is just to want to have fun and, you know, just do whatever you want to do, you know, because it didn't have like any strong foundation. It didn't have no rules. It didn't have no regulations, you know. And anytime I would go to like, you know, those like, you know, seminars or whatever, they would have like wine, or I don't know, they would drink like a wine or something, and then I would ask if it was like real wine, and they would tell me, yeah, that it's real wine. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, aren't you so, like, isn't this like the house of God? Like, aren't you supposed to like at least like respect God and not drink like inside the house? And you know, and then they would tell me that no, like, you know, it's just like a form of respect, like doing like a ritual, and to drink it with the bread. And me, I'm thinking, well, okay, that's fine. Like these are just like some like events that would happen whenever I would be like in the church or whatever they call it. But hey, and then later on, at the age of, I believe, 12 years old or 13, no, I think I was like 12, 11 years old, I think that's when my mom decided to transition into being saved. I think, yeah, she decided to be saved. How do you call those other Christians that are saved? I don't know how to call them. I don't know how to call them, because I know in Christianity there's a different sects. There is Catholism, there is being saved, and there's some other, like there is what else is there? I keep forgetting. I don't know. Like it's just a lot of sects. But my mom decided to be saved, and I think that my aunt is the one who talked to her into it. And I remember she used to come at home, and you know, she would advise her about, you know, getting saved. I know I was a child, but I used to pay attention to things, right? Back then I was ignorant. You know, when you're a child, you're ignorant, you don't know anything. But I used to pay attention, right, to things that, you know, she would talk her into. And I think she decided to take a step forward to getting saved, to have that kind of salvation. And that's when she started going to church. And I actually remember the church. You know, it's an old church. I do remember it. And that's when she decided to go to church, and she decided to be like a devout Christian right from there. And of course, I am her only daughter, so she took me with her to church. And she told me that, you know, she's no longer a Catholic, that she went ahead and got saved, and now she had to relocate to another church. And I was like, okay, no worries, like I'll follow you wherever you go. I'll follow you. You are my mother, so I'll follow you wherever you go, you know. And of course, she was my mom. She's my mom, so she used to take me to church every time. And then that's when I also transitioned to being saved. I got saved. But the way I got saved, I didn't get baptized. I never got baptized. when I was a Christian. I never got baptized. I just got saved, and I believe that Jesus Christ was my savior. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. So when I did that, it was kind of a weird transition because I used to have fun with my friends who were Catholic, and they used to look at people that were saved at the church in a weird way because they were speaking in tongues and things that never made sense to them, but they would still tell me that if you want to have fun, just let us know. At 13, can you imagine that? But me, my type of fun was just going to swim, riding horses, because I used to ride horses when I was younger, and learning how to dance, because I used to dance when I was younger as well. So that was my type of fun. I never used to drink. And that's when I started, being a part of the church community. That's by, being in the choir, because, I used to love to sing, and I guess my mom advised me to go into the choir, and I joined the choir. And when I joined it, it was really, really fun. I used to have fun, and I used to think that, it was just such a great moment for me, And every time I would get on stage, I would, for me it was just fun because I wanted, to be honest, like people to hear my voice, because I used to love to sing. And unfortunately, they never gave me the microphone, My cousins who are watching me know what I'm talking about, because we're together. We were together in the choir, and they would just give the ones who had like great vocals to sing. But who cares, man? We were young. I was young. And right after that, I would I carried on with that, with being a Christian, right? I carried on until I started, until I grew up to be a lady, a woman, until my teenage years, when I was like, I think 18 years old, 19 years old, 20, 21, 22, And then when my uni days started, when I joined university, in the UK, I went to this certain church, and they used to talk to me about getting baptized, because I never got baptized. And every time they would talk to me about it, I would tell them to give me time, just give me time. I'm not yet ready. I don't know why something just kept me, how do you say it again? Something kept telling me to not get baptized. Something told me not to do it. Right now, just like I just used to not feel ready, and I'm like, why do I have to get baptized? Like, I don't think it's a big deal to me. If I believe that I got saved, then why get baptized? You know what I mean? But every time, I remember this pastor, she would, tell me to. She would ask me, are you ready? Like, and I'll tell her, no, not yet. And then she'd be like, please, you have to do it. You have to do it, before, calamity. I don't know, like before calamity, like just something. She would just make up something that would scare me so that I would get baptized. And I would tell her, no, I'm not yet ready, And for me, it's not about like getting baptized, just the fact that I was never like comfortable even being in a church in the first place, because I was doing whatever I wanted to do, you know what I mean? I would go party, drink. I know I'm not even supposed to expose my sins, but sometimes I just gotta do it because I want people to just get inspired, that, not, drinking and partying is not the lifestyle, But I used to do that, and then after I would do that, I would go to church, and I'd be like, then what's the sense of what's the essence of doing that if I know I'm going to be repeating the same thing over and over again? I'm sorry, I have to fix my hijab 100 times, you know. And I would think about it, and I would be like, I would be like, if even if I get saved, like I wouldn't be happy, you know. I will never be happy, you know. And this is gonna be funny, like to you guys, it's gonna sound funny, but I didn't even want to get married to like a God-fearing a man. You know, I never wanted that, because I knew that for some reason deep in my heart I would never be happy, you know, like speaking in tongues, you know, going to church and pray for like 4 hours, 5 hours. That thing is long, like this is just long, man. It's long, and I used to hate it. I used to hate it, bro. I just used to hate it. Like going to church and pray for like 4 hours, you know. Like, but anyways, like, let me not laugh. But like when I remember it, I was like, it used to be long, you know. But every time I would get back home, you know, I would grab a Bible, and reading the Bible itself was so long because I would get bored and then sleep. And I'm like, what am I reading, bro? Like, you know, am I reading something Chinese or Japanese? What am I reading, you know? Because I would read the like New Testament, and then I would go to the Old Testament, and then it would never make sense, because what I read in the Old Testament was like a bunch of like words twisted out that, you know, make sense in the New Testament. And I would be like, and I would go to my pastor and I would ask her what would be the meaning of a certain verse that I would read, or chapter, and he would explain it to me for 4 hours, bro. 4 hours. Okay, I'm being extra, but like, let's say like 3 hours, you know. And still I'll be like, okay, you know. And then after that, you know, when I came here in Canada, I'm gonna do another like background, that's my story background and stuff, you know. But right now, I'm sorry about the camera. Right now I'm just talking about my religious background, you know, where I come from and stuff like that. If you want me to do another Q&A, I can do that. And when I came to Canada, that's when reality hit, because I found myself that I was independent. Because when I was at uni, my parents were the ones who were sponsoring me by paying my tuition fee. But when I came here, that's when I had to start being independent, and life hit, and I did not have anything in my life. I think I lost even the faith, the Christianity faith, you know. I genuinely do believe that I lost my Christianity faith when I got here in Canada. And I believe it was bad for me, because I was lonely, I was lost. You know, I did have friends and stuff, but spiritual wise, I didn't have God, I didn't have anything. I was trying to have friends or talk to people or drink wine to fill my void. I would go to church, but like the church that I went to was not welcoming. They were welcoming, yes, you know, if you were new, just stand up and sit down, you know, join the church community. But I was not like here for it. Like, I was tired, you know, my heart was really tired, and I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on, you know? I even started work. I started working, but you know, every time I would just ask myself, like, what is it about me that I'm not like happy spiritual wise? Like, I'm so lost, and I wish I had God, and like I really wish I had God. Like, I really wish that God would listen to me and would at least like call me so that I can hear him, you know. I actually prayed about it for a couple of years before I came to Canada. I prayed about it like a couple of years back, you know, because nothing made sense to me. And I think I was with my boyfriend back at the time, and I think he was Muslim but not a practicing Muslim.